I'm very glad to take part in this meeting and must say thanks for the sponsor give me a chance to take part in this meeting and exchange the idea with other scholars. So the first thing is thanks. It's my first time with Montevideo, and but yesterday maybe some scholar talk about that Chinese and Latin American need cooperation, but I think also the scholar need cooperation. Before this year, I haven't been to Latin American, but this year this is the second time. So I think that this time more and more scholars in China in China want to do some research together with the Latin American. I think not only China can give some Chinese scholar can give you some idea, but I think it's also very important to us to learning Latin Americans scholars idea. And yesterday, my colleague gave Professor Yun gave a very excellent, perfect presentation about trade. And the next time, Professor Tao Tao will give also other presentation. But I didn't live in the trade and international investment, and I study in my main field is instilled in China. So today maybe I talk about this topic. And in my speaking is three parts. One is taught you the secret to the success of China's economy, and the second is talk about on the future, and the last is China Latin Americans cooperation. Yes, and I think yesterday a lot of people talking about Chinese successful in the past 40 years. Yes, I think most people talk about why China can make a success. Maybe most scholars talking about is only because of the market reform. But as you know, a lot of countries in the world is market economy. But why Chinese can develop very fast in the past time? So maybe we need a more long term to say why Chinese economy can grow very fast. So you can say we can in the past 17 years, in the 17 years, maybe you can say in 2017, China's GDP was 164 times that of 1952, and its per capita GDP was 67 times. So not only in the past 14 times the Chinese economy has been grown very fast, but also in the 17 years in the past, Chinese economy grows very fast. In 1978, Chinese GDP was about 5 times the level of 1952, and the Chinese per capita GDP was about 3 times. So today maybe we need a more long term to say why Chinese can success. So and I think everybody knows HDI. But maybe we study a case about Chinese and India. At first time, why we study the case between Chinese and India? I think at first Chinese and India had made a great success building from 1914 to 2014. And I think it's not only in economy, but also in success development. Both country, I think, invest in human capital. Both care about social fairness and human development. But together we will talking about the different China and India. This is the SDI of China and India. We will find maybe about 1980 China surpassed India. And when we say because we know that the SDI including three index, one is per capita GDP, and one is education, and the other is health. So maybe when say the different index that we find, it's not. Maybe most of the time think why Chinese SDI is high India. Maybe only because of Chinese per capita GDP is high than India, but it's not. We find that at first, maybe about 1950s, Chinese education index is surpassed India, and maybe about 1960s, Chinese health is past India. At last, per capita GDP maybe about 1992 that Chinese per capita GDP is the same India. So per capita GDP is the last index, and so. By the case, so I think maybe is other reason we will care about Chinese economic success. Maybe not only because of economy, but also because of China pay invest more in human capital. So we made a new index, HCI. HCI is Human Care Index. So it's HCI. It's not HDI. So HCI. But why? How to measure the HCI? And so it means HCI is mean if. Let me see. If at the same per capita GDP country, if one country's education or health is high than the origin country, so the ICI is high. And so we use the cross countries data. We get the HCI, and so we can. But because of the time, I can give more detail about this computer. So we can only tell us use HCI. And so yesterday, the beautiful lady from Argentina sits next to me, and I'm very glad that in G20. In G20, Argentina's HCI is very high. So I think, yesterday I say to the professor from Argentina, I'm sorry I didn't know your name, and we know that Argentina's HCI is very high, and China and also Brazil is high, but just as China's HCI is changed from 1917 to 2014, but we find maybe in the 1980s 1980, Chinese HCI is high. It means this data is low. It means it's good. It's high. It's bad. So it's 10%. It's the top percent. So maybe in the 1980s, China's HCI is very high. So we used across the country's data and success that if a country have a more high HCI, a country's growth in a long time, for example, in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, the country's economic growth maybe will high, and we draw a very interesting conclusion is that people come first. Maybe the secret to Chinese successful more in home beings capital. Maybe a country's will grow more fast. And second, because in the past time, Chinese economy grows very fast. But this time, I think a lot of scholars maybe worry about Chinese economy. Maybe somebody think maybe Chinese economy maybe broke down, maybe grow very slowly. I think everybody think if Chinese grows more fast, it's good news to the world. So everybody, maybe a lot of scholars call about in the future Chinese can also develop fast. So maybe I use a middle so to get an answer. Answer is very interesting because this time Chinese invest in also invest in Chinese health and education, and if because in the future, because Chinese HCI Chinese the home being capital will grow. So I think in the future 10 years and over 20 years, Chinese will also grow fast because this model maybe we call about the home being capital. And also in the past time, maybe a lot of people talking about Chinese technology didn't make progress. Only the economy grows very fast. But I also care about in different success in manufacturing sector in China. If we think different sectors, the workers' education is different. So in China, it's different with the Euro and American. In America, maybe the IT index is the high technology index, but in China, it's different. I'm sorry, and so we also this is about China's technology context of China's import and export. So we found from 1922 to 2016, Chinese technology context or import or export is high and high. So I think this is a good news not only to Chinese but also to Latin American country, because maybe we can cooperation on get more from China's technology developer. And the last path is Latin Americans cooperation. And I think in the past time, two-way trade grows fast, which Chinese trade definition on the race, and also, but I think China and Latin American can import and export more from in the two-way. And so because of the time, so I give some proposal, and the one is I think Latin America need to enhance public infrastructure to improve people's living standard. I think this time Latin American need invest not only in infrastructure but also in human capital, but so safe world, land, air, and food is needed. So we also in Latin America maybe more infrastructure. So I think in China maybe still another thing can meet the need of Latin American. And the second is, I think China also need enhance environmental protection and improve high quality living. So I think yesterday I also talked this topic. Maybe in Chinese most of students learning English, but I think this time more and more students want to learning Spanish. So I also think more and more in Latin America most country speaking Spanish. So I think maybe the teacher can go to China. Teach the student learning Spanish, and in the past time as me, I at first I learning English. Maybe I learning reading and writing, but speaking is better. Is bad. But this time I think the student learning Spanish. Maybe I think the people come from Latin America can talking more, so the student can improve their speaking Spanish is fast. So I think this is a good idea. It's interesting. So and also the people in Chinese made need more food. So I think this is a good news for it's a big market to the Latin American. The last is I think not only China but also Latin American can get more from the one boat and one road. So Chinese and Latin American can cooperation on maybe not only on one boat and one road, but also maybe learning from each other. As my speaking that I think in this time in China more and more scholars like me care about the experience of Latin American. So maybe we can find some interesting topic to do some research together to help Chinese and Latin American to develop more fast. At last is I think Latin American culture is special. It's come from Asia, American, Europe, and Africa. But China is also a special country, and his history is uninterrupted over 5,000 years. So I think China and Latin Americans cooperation represent not only cooperation between the two mainlands, but exchange and cooperation between the different culture, representing intersection of history, present, and future. At last is the development is the people's development, and the result of development should be shared by the people. Thanks.